I'm John. I'm back again. Glad to be here. Time for a bee inspection. It's been about a week since I've been inside the beehive, and it's been cold and dreary the past couple of days. Rainy. Temperatures in the 50s. We're finally above 63, 65 right now. So we're going to take a look. Still haven't found that queen, so we're going to go inside today and find the queen, hopefully. I got some glasses. If I don't see the queen, at least I'm going to look for some eggs and young larvae. I'm seeing a couple of dead bees outside by the entrance. I see one for sure, but I'm seeing a lot more activity today. They seem very active. I'm seeing pollen. Pollen's going in. That's good. One dead guy right there, and hopefully that's all we have to contend with. At some point, we're going to have to check for mites, and we're going to have to do, you know, some mite treatment, and make sure these bees are okay. So here, there's not going to be anything. Shouldn't be anything here because the bees don't have access to this. Here's where I have the feeder, which we made the water in 2 weeks ago. Last week when I checked it, there was still some in there. So I'm going to slide it over.
That's a mixture of water.
And it is empty. So we're going to make them some more. And you can see there they are. So we'll make some more water there. And there's a lot of bees here. We'll smoke them. See how they scurry? And this is the inner cover that has an entrance. The bees bring in it's like a resin from trees, and it's called propolis. And the lid is either propolized down, which is them sealing their home, or we got some extra comb.
Ooh, you see the honeycomb on the thing, John?
So right here, you see honey.
Yeah.
And they're also going to be looking for beetles, not like English beetles
And
that
like
sing music.
and mites.
Yeah, just not mites are hard to see. Don't see mites on the bees. And I see that these are all kind of worker bees. I'm looking for the queen just in case she's moved up here, but I don't see her.
But she should be up there.
She should be. She's usually on the frames. And the fact that this hive is very active with bees, lots of bees here, tells me that there's a queen in there. So we're just going to set this aside, and we'll start moving frames to the side. Let's get some smoke.
Is that mound all bees?
It's bees on top of
What? To me, it looks like a mound of dirt. Is that all bees?
bees on top of comb.
Okay.
You see all this comb up here?
It's kind of hard to see from here.
I don't want to scrape it off, but there's comb right there. They're on top of that comb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these frames from the back. These back frames should not be too crowded with bees, but if they're drawing comb, which looks like they are, then it's time to add another box of frames, and I'll show you the frames. So this is a frame. So you see they're drawing comb on that frame. See how it's black, but there's like white comb?
Yeah.
That means that they're making comb to either store honey, probably storing honey and nectar on these combs. So the queen should not be here yet. And all I see is nectar. So I see nectar, I don't see eggs, and I don't see larvae. There's nothing on the back. So this is like what it comes in the box. But there's bees, and I think it's time to add another box of frames.
Do you have another box?
Oh yeah. Well, I have this box, and then I have that box, and then I have more frames. So I'm going to add more frames. All right.
Wow.
So see,
look
there's
at
a
that.
lot. This was a new frame. Oh, this is a good sign. So this is cat brood, and that means there's eggs. And I see baby larvae. That means we have a queen. I don't see the queen, but we have a queen, and she's laying eggs.
That's awesome.
Because we didn't have this last week. So she has been here. We have like 1 day larvae. She might be here. That would be really exciting to find the queen, wouldn't it?
It almost looks like there's stuff on the back too.
There's a little bit of, oh, we got honey up here too. Capped honey. Right here where it's very, very white.
Okay.
That's actual honey in there. So what they do is they lay this nectar. There's eggs in there. There's little eggs.
That's awesome.
We have a queen. I don't see her, but
She's a lady and she might be modest.
I see drones too. So she's nearby. I can tell you that. So we have a good sign, right? I don't see a queen. I mean, this is just my rookie eye, but I know that we're ready for more frames, and I know the queen is laying. So good sign, good sign. All right. So I'm not going to put that frame over here because she could be on there and I haven't spotted her, but I think she's close. So again, brood, pollen, and it's not her. It's a drone. It's a big drone. So we think it will be ready to emerge. This drone cat. I think this is one of the original, yeah, this is one of the original nuke frames. So, honey, you can see capped honey. You can see brood, nectar. One of these days I will spot you, queen. She might be moving around, and that's good. Could be on the other side by now, laying eggs. Who knows? All right, let's carefully drop this frame down. Don't want to hurt any bees. Bee space. All right. That's exciting, right? Seeing eggs, seeing larvae on a frame that you hadn't seen before. So we're beekeeping. We are beekeeping. All right. Very exciting, very exciting. Gotta keep that smoker going. I don't know, I need some suggestions. By the way, subscribe to my video, right? I mean, that's what you should be doing. You know, I don't want to be famous. I just want to like go through this journey with all you new beekeepers. Follow me along as you're a new beekeeper. We discover a lot of the same things. I'm just putting it on video just to share it with the world, okay? So we're moving on. And I'll comment, you know, I don't know anything about beekeeping, only what I've been seeing on YouTube from some of you guys who are posting your videos. There's a couple of guys that you should watch. And I'll suggest David Burns. Fantastic beekeeper. He's been doing it for years. He's in Illinois. And there's Jim, I don't know his last name, but he's a homesteader in Massachusetts. And his page is called Vino Farm. And he's awesome. David Burns is awesome. There's a guy called Cumon in Tennessee, also very good. So these are all videos that you should be watching on YouTube. And these are all good beekeepers. And I'll post their links below. There's also a couple podcasts that I like. Honeybee Obscura is very good. And that's Jim Tew and Kim Flottis. Kim's a guy. And they're here in Northeast Ohio too. I believe Kim Flautis used to work for AI Root Company, and AI Root was a company that built a lot of beekeeping equipment back in the day in Medina. One of the schools in Medina, one of the elementary schools in Medina, is actually called AI Root. So this is a healthy colony of bees. As you can see, they build a lot of comb on the bottom. I'm trying to find a spot to place this so I can turn my hand. You don't want to drop a frame of honeybees, unless of course you drop them into the actual box. But you don't want to do that either. So in this, again, lots of nectar. I think we've had obviously some of these bees have emerged from here in the past few days. So they're cleaning it out, making room for the queen to lay new eggs. So I see, one bee in there inside, working inside of the frame. Let's flip this guy over. Remember, our queen has a pink dot, which may have fallen off. I'm seeing some drone. I'm seeing what could be a queen cup. And a queen cup is a cup on the frame, which, unless there's eggs in it, is just a cup. But I think it's just, no, these are just drone cells. Drone cells are more bubbly. They bubble up. See a waggle dance right there. On the bottom, that's just extra comb. That's not, and that's all brood too. I mean, that's been filled in with brood. And that's all newer. Drone. Don't think of the queen could be on here. She could be, but I don't think so. These gloves are too big. I'm gonna have to eventually get brave and drop the gloves, right? But I don't want to. I don't want to get stung. I guess part of being a beekeeper is you're gonna get stung, right? I mean, that's part of the love, like you're sharing this bond with bees, and part of it is their hate for you, being in their business. So, oops. All right. Again, make sure you're subscribing to my videos right down below, and if you want notifications when I post new videos. So I'll tell you a funny story. My daughter, who's 19, she's a typical 19-year-old, lovely, lovely girl. But she has her own interests, and I didn't think beekeeping would be like her thing. But she watched my last video, my first video, and she wants to be involved. So, at some point in the near future, we're going to start seeing my daughter in these videos. Today she's working, so she's going to be disappointed that I came in and without her, but I had to take advantage of the weather. Get these bees off of these combs so I can clean it up. Ah, there we go. Hope it's cool smoke. I'm trying to get these cleaned up. Look at that honey. A lot of honey there. Let's see. Whoa, look at that. Heavy with bees. It's getting crowded. Taking a look. So we got some bees cleaning out. We got some larvae there, good sized larvae. And so we got some work going on here, preparing for the next set of next set of baby bees or eggs. Drone, good sized drone. Feeling she's on those newer frames that we saw at the beginning. Laying there, but you know, you never know where they might be. So they're getting a little mad at me right now. They're like, come on, dude. We got work to do. What are you doing? Alright, but we got good smoke, so as long as the smoke is smoking, I'm keeping these. I don't see a lot of activity on top of these. They're good just that they be storing. And I see bees, but I think we are ready to add. So gotta be careful. Love it. Again, there's a lot of nectar, pollen, a lot of pollen on this side. A lot of I've been seeing mostly yellow pollen coming in, but you know, they bring in pollen of all colors. They bring in pollen of all colors. And we got, obviously, bees have emerged from these. And again, there's honey, capped honey, nectar, brood. We got all the goods that say that this is a good hive. And of course, we saw the baby eggs and the baby larvae, 1-day-old larvae. In case you don't know, it takes 21 days for an egg to hatch. Well, to hatch as a bee, because we know that it goes from egg to pupa stage very quickly, within a day or two. So it's funny with the smoker, right? We got great smoke, one puff, one frame. Next frame, we're dead. Moving on. Again, this is the last frame that came with the nuke. Those 5 frames came with the nuke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the rest are mine. These 2 frames getting drawn. We'll take a look at this frame looking good. And got a little tight. Always got to be careful, right? Certainly don't want to kill a bee you don't want to kill. Bees are resilient, obviously, but you don't want to roll up on a queen and cause damage. But we are in good shape. We are in good shape. So that's good. This. I see larvae, obviously. I see some honey, lots of nectar, and I don't expect to see a queen here. I think she's busy on the outside one, so that's one where I need to be looking for her, because she is doing her job. So, quick look at these. We got some bees with pollen on their legs, little baby bees, so little tiny bees. They're pretty small. So we got a lot of female bees here, The drones are on some of the other frames. I see one or two drones on here, but mostly they're on the other frames. And there's a strange looking bee. Looks different than the other ones. But definitely there's a bee in there, head stuck in, butt sticking out. Obviously that bee is cleaning out the frame. So the next 3 frames are mine, and we'll see what they're doing in there. But I think the key is we want to see if we have drawn frames, obviously, or drawn comb, and if there's any eggs being, look at that guy. He's just hanging on that tool saying, hey, I think that's my honey. I think I made that one. I'm real proud of that job. So let's take a look at these. I haven't taken a look at the very last one before, but this is mine. And man, we got a lot of activity on here. A lot of pollen, honey, nectar, and I see larvae. So this is my frame, and the queen's been on here. So let's take a look, because she's probably, if she's been on here more recently. So she's obviously working the outside frames. I see drone. What we're looking for is a longer bee, and if we're really lucky, she still has her pink dot on her. So some drawn comb on here, nectar. I don't see eggs. Oh wait, yes I do. I see eggs, and I see a bee with his butt inside one of the, oh yeah, oh lots of eggs. Yes sir, lots of eggs. Not a fully drawn comb, but there's a lot of eggs on here on this. Taking a very close look here. I mean, I don't see, as long as I don't see, even if I don't see the queen, which clearly I suck at it, I know that she's been here. There's eggs in here, unless we have laying workers. But the thing is that I don't see a lot of drone cat. So I see, like, you know, because here's the deal. Come on, guys. Hop off. Hop off. I know. You guys are mad. I get it. Queen bees fertilize. There's a waggle dance going on right there. Queen bees fertilize their own eggs. Fertilized egg becomes a female bee, a worker bee. If workers are laying eggs, they don't fertilize it. Oh, because what happens is that when a queen is born, she's a virgin queen. She flies out on a mating flight. Drones connect to her. They mate with her. She comes back to the hive a few days later, maybe a week later. It's amazing. She finds her own hive. She starts laying eggs. Well, inside of her is sperm that the drones deposited. When she fertilizes an egg, and she can deposit up to 7,000 eggs a day, she can fertilize an egg. It becomes a female bee. If she doesn't fertilize it, it's a drone, a male bee. There's not a lot of drone cap in this hive. So I don't think that, I think there's a queen. I know there's a queen, because also I haven't seen any queen cups. And queen cups are basically what the bees will create so that to lay queen eggs in it, so that that egg will become a queen bee. Well, they're not trying to replace the queen because I'm not seeing the cup. So I'm seeing eggs, I'm seeing larvae, I'm not seeing a lot of drones, and I'm not seeing any queen cups. So this hive has a bee, has a laying queen in it, which I suck at finding. But here's more drone comb, nectar. I see nectar, and I don't see any eggs. Pollen. So she's not working this. She's not working this frame as she shouldn't be. And the very last frame is empty. So again, I'm not even going to bother looking at that one. But I can tell you that there's a queen. I'm sure of it. She's in there. She's doing her thing. And I'm very excited. And so today, since we are 90% full as far as comb being drawn on the new frames as well as the old frames, I'm seeing eggs, larvae on the new frames. So we are in shape now after 2 weeks to add a second box of frames. So I'm going to do that before I leave today. I don't have any supers, so I can't feed them, but I think there's still nectar. So I think the bees can get their own nectar. Probably this week I'll go out and get some shallow supers just to feed the bees. I don't think I'm going to install the frames, so I'm just going to just feed these bees a little bit longer once I get some. Actually, I'm going to get medium supers. And I'm going to get them at Bee Sky Supply, or Blue Sky Supply. This is a supplier in Ravenna, Ohio. And I'm going to put their link below again. So I'll have some links below today for, some good beekeeping videos. I'll actually link a couple good podcasts that I like. 2 Bees in a Pod is also good. That's from the University of Florida. Some beekeepers there. And it's a guy and a woman. I don't know their name, but they do a really nice job. And they have some good guests. Kim Flautis and Mike Tew, they just talk amongst themselves. They've been around beekeeping for, between the two of them, I'd say a century. So again, like I said, Kim Flautis worked for AI Root in Medina, and he still lives in Northeast Ohio. And I'll there's some good resources for you, for knowledge. I mean, that's where I learned all this stuff. And also your local beekeeping organization, become a member of them wherever you are. And, they have lessons. So if you can take some classes, do that. I haven't taken classes. I'm just winging it through YouTube videos like I do a lot of everything. But classes are good, and support your local. I guess that's all I'm gonna say. Boy, these spacers are stressful, so as I mentioned in the last video, the guy who invented this kind of frame hive system, his name was I want to say Horace Langstrom. And up until then, what the beekeepers, they kept their bees in something called a skip. And a skip is nothing but a basket of rope. It was fairly good size, right? The bees would go in there, they would, put all their honeycomb and everything. And then what happened was that the beekeeper would just have to destroy that whole thing just to get the honey out. Well, this is obviously a way of, managing your beehive in such a way that you can take the frames in and out. But the most ingenious thing that he did was something called bee space. Now, when you notice I took the frames out underneath, there's no bee space. So the bees are building like a lot of extra cluttery comb. In this one, because of the bee space, the bees can only they can only like draw the comb in the draw comb within the frames. So there's not all that clutter. Plus you can take the frames out. Everybody has their space, and then obviously as you are building, you can get your supers on top. They'll put honey in there. They have their honey, you have your honey, and it's a symbiotic relationship. And there's a lot of different types of hives, and we'll talk about different types of hives eventually. Next week I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to have some supers We'll talk about supers and excluders, and my daughter kind of wanted to talk about that because she didn't know what it was. So that'll be our lesson next week. I'm very excited today. I feel we had a productive day. Obviously, we got some bees on the inner cover here. I'm going to knock them off. It'd be better if I had a brush, but eventually we'll get to that as well. In my excitement, I just did what I always do. And now, in my even more excitement, I'm going to put in more frames. And then I'll put the inner cover. And then, like I said, I'm going to go to Blue Sky Supply in Ravenna. Again, check the link below for Blue Sky. They're not sponsoring me, but I'm just happy to, we want everyone to do well, be prosperous, right? And so we'll give Blue Sky a plug. And of course, last week I talked about Vermont Natural Stains, which is what I stained this with. It's poly-whey based stain. So I think it's a lot better, healthier for the environment, and of course, looks nice. So, okay, 10 frames, brand new frames, ready to go. So the bee should populate it soon. We'll start drawing. I expect the queen will finish up below. She'll eventually move up, and that'll really be a good sign that we have a laying queen. Like I said today, we didn't see, a lot of drone. We didn't see any queen cups. That's a good sign. Also means this colony is not going to swarm. It's too young to swarm, so I don't expect this colony to need to be split until next spring. But they'll go in here, and they'll start doing their thing. By the way, this is a 10 frame box. You can get 8 frame boxes too. They can get very heavy, especially as you can see, they get filled up with honey. I haven't tried to lift the bottom box yet. I'm not even going to try it. I think even next year, I might just go to a single box brood system where I do a single box for brood, and then I do the excluder, and then I put the supers. So we'll see what happens, right? We're going to take it one day at a time. I'm a new beekeeper. I'm excited. Things are happening. We got bees, and I think we saw a very, very good sign of a laying queen. If you think otherwise, if you think I'm full of crap, which I could be, please let me know. Comment below, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications when I get new videos. I have my daughter here next week, so she's excited, I think, to become a beekeeper herself. Plus, I think she wants to put on the outfit because she thinks she's probably going to look adorable. By the way, I also talked to a friend of mine. I'm going on too long, but a buddy of mine who's an engineer saw my last video. And I show that there's a creek over there, and it actually runs down from, just a few miles up the road. And right now it's flowing very slowly, but when we get a heavy rain, it has overflowed its banks. So he's an engineer. He was concerned about it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the cinder block here and just put just a regular brick. And then I'm going to strap this down to the cinder blocks in case there's water, because we don't want the hive getting lifted up. Now, of course, if there's water and the hive is not going to get lifted up, well, we got a bigger problem in that we're going to have water rushing through the hive. I don't expect it's going to be that bad. I mean, I'm looking at a creek. It's probably 10 to 12 feet below us right now. So if that creek is going to overflow and take this thing up, this hive up, I got bigger problems in my house down there than a beehive. But that's the next project here, is we'll strap this down and keep it safe. For now, the brick goes back on, and like I said, next week you'll probably see just a shallow soup or a medium super that I'm putting the bucket in, the 1 gallon bucket. This is what I fed them with, 1 gallon bucket. It's empty. It took them about 2 weeks to empty it. And it's a it's the 1-to-1 ratio of water to just regular sugar. And for a gallon, this is kind of good. You get a gallon of water, and then you get, actually what you do is you get a 5-pound bag of sugar, and you dump that into, I believe it was like 10 quarts. 10 quarts? 10 cups. 10 cups of water. I'll double check that for you. I believe it was 10 cups of water, and mix that up with the sugar, and then filled it up perfectly. So a gallon's obviously more than that. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications for when I post new videos. And I'm John from Sir Winston Honeybees. Have a good day, everyone, and happy honeybeeing.